I did Subway takes, and my take was that I don't think we need real beds. I sleep on a dog bed, and it went like way more viral than I would have ever expected it to. I just had this moment where I was like, people in the world
know about this. Like, I said that in a private conversation, and then it was taken out of the context that I said it. Yeah. I had that moment. I was on Hinge last week, and someone like messaged me and said like, oh my God, hi Daddy God Girl.
You're Daddy God Girl and Dog Bed Girl.
Yeah, Daddy God Girl and Dog Bed Girl. Do you have a hamster?
Yeah, I have a hamster. It's in my bio.
What does it say?
My bio on Instagram is I'm under 5 feet tall and I have a hamster.
Okay, well, I'll look into that. Thank God.
Yeah, no, you gotta come meet her.
I will. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my God, thank you for having me in your beautiful home.
This is Claire Sundbye. This is my friend.
And Beck and I became fast friends.
I found out, I saw her on Ashley Gavin's podcast.
Yeah.
And I found out that she had a lot of religious trauma.
Yeah.
And I said, this girl and I are broken in the same way.
Yeah. You DM'd me and you were like, hey, this is weird, but like, I think we have a lot in common. And I was like, I think we do too. And then we went out for coffee and trauma dumped for like
3 hours.
Yeah, and it was like really, and now we like do that weekly.
It's beautiful. That's sort of what friendship is all about.
Yeah, we became like really fast friends because that was like pretty recent.
I feel like the type of like religious trauma that we had was really isolating. I think I don't find a lot of people that understand where I'm coming from a lot of the time, but you just like very quickly did. You grew up in Kansas. You grew up next to the Westboro Baptist Church.
I did, yeah, the main compound for them.
The main bad one.
The main compound, yeah, Westboro Baptist Church, which I talk about them so much, and I'm like always waiting for them to send me a letter or something, but they have never sent anything.
I think about that with my church. The church I grew up in was the Apostolic Christian Church of America, and one of their like big tenets is like not suing people. So I feel like I'm fine.
Have you gotten any backlash ever from anyone in your church related to it?
I've gotten one mean Facebook message from someone that I went to church with, but then generally, no. I've gotten this last couple weeks, I've been posting my diary entries, and I've been getting a lot of...
oh my God, girl.
Humiliating, by the way. I think it's like funny, but then sometimes I have these sobering moments where I'm like, oh, they're all on the internet.
Because it's like you're just filming it in your room and then you're putting it out there and you're not thinking like, okay, like potentially millions of people are watching this, experiencing this. Because sometimes I get that way. I mean, I don't have the level of virality that you do by any means, but I had that a little bit with the dog bed thing.
I was about to say, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about, actually.
Yeah, with the dog bed thing, I was like...
Can you give dog bed context for the people that don't understand?
Know. Yeah, like the first thing I had that like went viral online was I did Subway takes with Kareem, who is a great guy. I did Subway takes, and my take was that I don't think we need real beds. I sleep on a dog bed, and it went like way more viral than I would have ever expected it to. And at first I was like, yeah, let me get these followers. Like I can do more shows. Like, come on. But then I did take a turn where I was like writing the CTA and someone was like, oh, I you on the dog bed. And I was like, oh, everyone?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I just had this moment where I was like, people in the world
know about this. Like I said that in a private conversation, and then it was taken out of the context that I said it.
Yes.
And then put on the internet, and millions of people saw it.
I'm like I could have been just as funny without including all that personal.
I had that moment. I was on Hinge last week, and someone like messaged me and said like, oh my God, hi Daddy God Girl.
You're Daddy God Girl and Dog Bed Girl.
Yeah, Daddy God Girl and Dog Bed Girl.
Wait, that's so cute. If we ever do a duo show, we'll call it that.
And we will. Or we'll split an hour.
Yeah.
But just like an insane way to be like, someone will see my face.
Oh my God,
and the immediately thing that pops in their head is Daddy God Girl.
I never want to go on a date with someone that knows me from the internet, but it's impossible.
That's how I felt from the Hinge post, is like everything I share is for lesbians.
Yeah.
So obviously obviously the people
that
I'm looking to, they're going to see
you're
it.
Gonna have it tough.
And I was like, fuck.
Yeah. I have people on Hinge all the time that will message me and be like, I you in the dog bed, LOL. Like
that is so creepy.
I know you from the dog bed thing. And
when I was in college, I was posting a lot, and I had someone, I was like eating in the dining hall, and I had someone message me, like DM me on TikTok, and they were like, hope you're enjoying your spaghetti.
Whoa.
While I was eating
the
lunch.
way I would like walk into traffic.
And that was one of the moments where I was like
that.
I think I should stop. Like I think I should maybe.
Did you expect to go? So like what was your trajectory? I feel like I've never really asked you like where how it got started.
It was one video. It was like 0 to 100.
And also I just have to say one thing before you continue is I have talked about you so many to other comedians, and that there are so many, and I hope you don't take offense, because there are so many content creators that then start stand-up where they come into the stand-up industry with such like an ego, and everyone has said that you don't have that. Like, I had a conversation about you with another comic last night, and we both were like, it's over text, I can show it to you with, we're like, the most humble person, like so kind, and like has all the talent in the world to back up everything that she's gotten.
That means so much to me.
You are so
Thank
talented and like so humble, and it's so refreshing to meet someone that has like the virality you do, that like you just don't use it in a way that I've seen a lot of other people use it to get stand-up things.
Yeah, I just really value people's time and attention, and I think that I don't want people like paying to spend an hour with me doing stand-up unless I'm like I feel like I'm really good at it, and you can't be good at stand-up like really good in a year, and I'm just like very aware of that. Like you and these comics that I look up to have trained for so long, and it's like such a different caliber of comedy that I like want to be at really bad, and I'm not like kidding myself about the time that it takes to get there.
And that's why you're gonna get there. You know what I mean?
I'm obsessed with
Undoubtedly.
you. Stop. Well, this is Cross My Heart, the podcast where everyone says nice things about me. Everyone just lists everything that's good about me.
I was lying. Hannah's a bitch.
Our first segment is Roses and Thorns.
Ooh, yay. Okay.
And if you've ever been in a youth group in America, you know that's when we say the best thing and the worst thing that happened to us this week.
Yeah. I went to a youth group only a few times because then they started showing videos of women getting abortions. Yeah.
I remember that. I used to show people those videos.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a joke where I talk about this, where I say that I used to like protest outside of Planned Parenthood.
I did the pro-life marches when I was 8 years old.
Yeah, like really
holding
passionate.
a sign with an aborted fetus. Like
me, a 9-year-old lesbian, being like, close your legs. Keep it in your pants.
You don't even know what sex is.
No. And I'm not interested in doing it with men. And I had such strong opinions. What was your favorite part of your week?
Oh, okay. Favorite part of my week was the special recording, which yeah.
Claire recorded a special at the Den Theater in Chicago this week. Yay. And it was so fucking good.
Glad Hannah came, and it was let me clarify, it was a mini special. So it was like a bunch of comics, and we all recorded them for LMA OF TV, which is on OnlyFans. Which I know you're thinking it's all sex stuff. No, it's not. They have a comedy channel. And it's really well produced. It's amazing. Hannah was the first person I spoke to right after I got off stage, and which was so nice. And yeah. And so I got off stage, and of course I was like, okay, there were a lot of things I should have changed. Like I think I looked down too much, But overall, I'm like, that was solid, and I'm happy to see the outcome, and it was a very fun day. That's my rose.
It was genuinely my favorite thing I've ever watched you do. Stop. It was the best stand-up I've ever seen from you, and I cannot wait to watch it. I was like freaking out. Like I was watching it, and I was like, she's gonna lose her mind when she watches this.
Oh my God.
Like you're gonna be so happy that you have this forever.
Thank you so much.
And everyone go watch it
in April when it comes out. Thank you. What was your rose?
Oh, I found like a perfect concoction of edible this week.
Woo! Okay,
I was
that's
like
nice.
taking a little bit of stimulant ADHD meds from my prescription, and then I took an edible while that was wearing off, if that makes sense. So I had like a beautiful locked in flow state, and I started writing the pilot that we were talking about.
Yes.
And so I like wrote basically an episode of a TV show like in this perfect zen state, and I haven't felt that much access to my brain in a while, and it rocked. Okay,
that's a really like intelligent thing you just said.
Thank you.
I haven't felt that much access to my brain in a while.
Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like when I scroll too much, I feel like my brain is soup. Like I don't feel like I have access to my memory, and like I'm feeling a little bit like that today. Like I scrolled most of the morning.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. I had like a conversation with my therapist about this where I found out I haven't been meditating. I've been disassociating.
Were you trying to meditate?
I was like, yeah, well, sometimes I just glaze over and I'm like,
you're having a seizure. That's an absence seizure.
He was like, I think you're disassociating.
I'm finding zen.
I want to do what you just did, where you access your brain.
I have a combination of substances for you that I'll hand over to you later, and you can
How
really
long did it
experience
last?
Like 3 hours.
Whoa.
Like just like the perfect edible, and I was just
holy shit.
just writing, and it was really fun.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you. I'm excited about the show. I feel like the diary entries have really inspired me. I've been getting a lot of comments that have been like, I would watch this as a show, like someone this closeted. And I was like, well, do I have news for you?
Yeah. I'm telling you, Hannah, write this pilot. It's going to get picked up. I'm just so excited for your career.
Thank you.
I'm just so excited for you.
Okay, stop being nice to me. Or I'm going to cry and it's going to ruin the take. Anyway, what was the worst thing that happened to you this week? What's your thorn?
I went on one of the worst first dates I've ever gone on.
Really?
Last night.
I saw that you posted about your date on your close friend story, and then I swiped away, and I was like, I'm not going to watch this
because you wanted to be excited. Okay, so you didn't watch any of the close friend story?
No, I didn't. You have to walk us through it.
Let me walk you through it. So I first off, I've been going on a lot of first dates. This is like a brand new thing for me.
Exciting.
I don't ever do this, but I decided I was going to go on first dates. So in the last like month, I've gone on like 6 different first dates. So we go, first off, I go in and I sit down and I just don't think he looks like his photos. I just don't think he looks like his photos. I sit down. He's already ordered his drink, and the bartender looks at me and is like, "Oh, do you want a beer list?" And I was like, "No, it's fine. I'll get a PBR, cheapest thing there." And then the bartender looks at him and goes, "Is it on your tab?" And he goes, long pause, and I go, "Did you want me?" And he's like, "I mean, sure, all right, yeah, you can put the first one on my tab. I guess that is the gender norms. All right, I'll get it."
Ew.
Because he got a gin and tonic, which is like a
cocktail.
I got a PBR.
Like, so he's like 35. I don't know if I have $4.
Yeah, $4 beer, literally. So then his second drink is he gets a Modelo. And we're talking about politics or conspiracy theories or something. And he goes, he's trying to do a riff, I think. And he's like, "Let me put my tinfoil hat on." He peels the foil from the Modelo and puts it on his head. I literally went, like, his whole vibe was so rude, off-putting. Like, it was painful. I wish that I was the type of girl that was confident enough to have just been like, "Hey, I'm not feeling it. Like, I need to go."
Yeah.
But I was just like, so, once I'd been there for an hour and a half, I was like, "Oh my God, it's already 9:30. And then he was like, "Oh, I live right across the street. I'm literally right there."
Yeah.
And I felt very much like he was insinuating that I should come back to his apartment, which is crazy.
After having a horrible
and another
day.
thing is,
after putting a little piece of tinfoil on his head, he said, "Do you want to have sex maybe later?"
He also made fun of me for having gum in my mouth.
Ew.
I was like, "Yeah, I always have gum in my mouth when I'm on a date in case they're cute."
I hate him.
Okay, what was your thorn?
Fantastic thorn. My thorn is that I swiped up on someone's thirst trap and did not get a reply.
This bitch. This bitch.
It was, I'm really proud of myself for putting myself out there creatively. This girl that I had slept with previously posted
okay,
thirst trap.
icon.
Yeah. I've had sex before.
She's had sex on this very couch.
Nope.
On this couch.
That couch.
On that couch. On that one?
Yes.
It's smaller.
I know. It pulls out.
Oh, okay, cool.
Don't worry. Might cut that too. But I
leave it in.
This girl that I had hooked up with had put myself out there with romantically before.
Yeah. And the hookup was good.
Yes, good. Okay. Posted a thirst trap. And so then I swiped up and we did a little bit of flirting. And then when it got to the like, "Would love to buy you a drink again."
Why did she engage in the flirting then? If
she saw the messages.
I did.
Quite flirty.
Maybe she died.
Be better next time. And that's always something that could happen.
Let's think.
No, because I always think worst case scenario, like she hates me, but maybe that's not what happened. Maybe she's gone through something terrible and she still wants me so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe she just was indisposed at the time.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Maybe she got kidnapped. Maybe her phone broke. Yeah, but also it's like, I wish I could learn this lesson for myself, is like, you deserve someone that wants you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not out here, we should not be out here chasing these people.
I try to remind myself of that. My therapist tells me this, like, the person that you are meant to end up with is going to be really excited to get a text from you.
Yes.
So like me being bummed about not getting a response doesn't mean that like I'm bad. It's just like, oh, this isn't the person, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that didn't work out. That was my thorn, is just the moment of like, you get your hopes up about something and then it doesn't work out. And then you have to like tell all the people that you already told about it that it didn't work out. That's the worst part. Our next segment is a hot take segment.
Oh my God.
And it's going to be, what are you starting a cult for? Okay. So you're going to talk about something that you're obsessed with. Okay. Whether that be person, place, thing, restaurant. Ooh, okay. So Claire Sundbye, what are you starting a cult for?
Cheesecake Factory.
You said that so fast. And I kind of knew you were going to say it.
Really?
When I said restaurant, I was like, okay, obviously.
I just like love it. Like the ambiance, the servers there are so nice. Like the font of the menus.
I've never been and I need to look.
Hannah,
into
we're
this.
going.
Okay.
We're going. Like the Cheesecake Factory is like the most, I'm actually genuinely tearing up.
You are. I'm going to zoom in on your tears.
I'm tearing up thinking about the limerence of the Cheesecake Factory.
What does it mean to you? Why do you love it so much?
It is the most magical place on earth. If I were rich, I would go once a week.
I've never been, and I will go with you.
I wish I could bring my hamster to the Cheesecake Factory.
I bet you could, and they wouldn't even know about it.
Should we go to the Cheesecake Factory?
A purse hamster?
I wish we could go right now.
Where's the closest one?
It's downtown.
Okay, we'll go.
Grand Ave.
Maybe we dress up like really nice.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why you like Cheesecake Factory is the type of place where you could go in sweatpants or a dress and no one would bat an eye.
I like genuinely don't feel like my brain is on.
Me neither.
Maybe we just skip. Maybe I just don't say anything.
Yeah, you know what, Hannah? I don't want to hear what you have to say.
Say less.
Say less. Whoa.
Maybe that's my
your thing.
That's what I'm starting a cult for. Is maybe only saying something when you have something valuable to say. It's really scary as a comedian because you feel like you always have to say something funny, especially in a podcast context.
Yes.
I feel like I have to say something that's funny and I have to say a bit and I have to do a little punchline. I have to do a little voice. You don't have to. That's also how we ended up with the conservative podcast pipeline that we do now, is that these guys got microphones and they were like, I'm going to say every thought I have. And a lot of thoughts that I have are wrong. Like sometimes you think something and it's not true.
Yeah.
Like as a person with OCD, that happens to me every single day. Where I have a thought that's like, if you eat beef, you're going to die. Yeah. That's not true. That's not true at all. But I don't have to say that out loud. I don't have to make it valid.
Whoa.
So when these men are like, women shouldn't have rights, I hate immigrants. And
I'm always like, stop saying what I'm thinking.
That's just a thought and it's wrong.
Yeah.
So say less words is my, what I'm starting a cult for.
All of us should,
talking less. Our next segment, it's called Forgive Me But.
Okay.
So you're gonna say forgive me but, and then say something like that's a hot take. So it's my version of I don't think so, honey. So like forgive me but I think we should have lesbian grinder. Forgive me but I think women aren't people.
Gotcha. Okay. Do I start?
Yeah.
Oh, forgive me but I don't think we need silverware in this society.
Hello?
I like really feel like I really think this way. Like I have a lot of hot takes, and one of them is that like I just don't understand the point of silverware.
Is this real?
Yes.
I am needing to know more.
I want to explain something to you.
Okay.
These are forks. This is a spoon. This is a knife.
Okay.
This is a ladle.
Maybe it's because you have tiny hands. They're like closer in size.
If it is too hot for my fingertips, it is too hot for my mouth.
Okay.
What do we need silverware for?
I hate you so much.
I don't own any silverware.
Soup. How do we do soup?
Honey, take the bowl. Drink it. I'm sorry. I just want to save time and tools. I don't want to wash a fork later.
In college, my roommate had one spork.
Okay.
One spoon fork. That's the only utensil we had in our dorm. And we shared it. And it's all we needed.
You don't even need that.
But I feel like sometimes you need maybe an emergency spork. Just in case.
Do I need to say more hot takes?
You can if you have them.
Hot take, I don't really know if I want teeth.
Okay, thank you so much. This has been Cross My Heart. I really appreciate Claire for being here today.
Like, I mean, Amish people get all their teeth pulled and just wear dentures. That sounds pretty easy.
Is that true? If this is still in the podcast, it is true.
I think it is. That like they frequently just wear dentures and stuff.
Do you feel like it's from like teeth rotting? Do they just like
they
not
don't
brush
want to
their
deal
teeth?
with like the expenses of the dental care. So it's like sometimes I think about it's like, oh, I've got to floss, I've got to brush my teeth, I've got to go to the dentist and spend $1,000, I've got to do all this stuff, and I'm like, if I had dentures, maybe that would just be easier.
When I was in middle school, I needed braces, and my parents like looked in the newspaper and found a coupon for just a guy that did braces. Like it was like a dentist that had like retired, and it was like $1,800 off braces.
Is that legal?
If you go to this guy. And so I just got my braces done by a random guy, and I think my teeth are fine.
Yeah, your teeth look great. Is that legal though?
Probably not.
Okay. Yeah, I just think like with teeth sometimes I'm just like,
that's so real.
If I could just put them in, take them out.
You are an enigma, and I'm obsessed with your mind. That's beautiful. Let me think. What am I?
Yeah, what's yours?
What is my forgive me but? Okay, I feel really passionately about this actually.
What?
Forgive me, but you should hold your fucking baby or they're gonna have a flat head.
Whoa.
And I feel that way about myself because I just found out I have a flat head.
What do you mean?
Like flat. Like put it against the wall, fits like a glove. Straight up and down.
Not round?
Not round.
It's because you weren't held as a baby?
So like babies have really soft skulls.
Right.
And basically if you lay it on the ground and don't pick it up, the skull will like form flat.
Whoa.
And I have a flat head.
Wait, I have a really round head.
Yeah, I'm really happy that you were held and loved.
Yeah.
But I was told the other day, someone like brought it up. They saw a TikTok about it, and my friends were sitting in a circle, and they were like, haha, does anyone have a flat head? And I was like, oh, I probably do, like, because my parents didn't love me. Like, it was like a little joke we were doing. And then everyone was feeling each other's heads, obviously, like friends do.
Oh my God.
And they were like, yours is really flat.
I'm so
you have a flat
sorry.
head. I don't think it'll affect me that much. I probably won't be able to shave my head in solidarity.
Yeah.
If someone has cancer, but
you know what? That's just a sacrifice.
That's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make.
Yeah.
So that's my forgive me but is probably hold a baby. Don't leave it on the floor.
Yeah, hold your babies. Wrap your little palms around their little heads.
Palm it like a basketball.
Palm it like a basketball.
Put a little helmet on it if it is flat.
Swing it around.
Yeah, shake the baby.
Shake the baby. I think my another hot take I have is that everyone needs to stop being like, no, I have anxiety. Honey, we all have anxiety.
Stop.
Look at the world.
I won't let you say this on my podcast.
Oh,
some people do have anxiety.
Are the gays going to come for me?
Okay, probably, but keep talking.
I think that we're at a point in society where everyone is experiencing a higher level of anxiety.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Everyone is under more stress than they have been historically.
I think that historically, like, at least when I look at like our country and what's happening, everyone is experiencing a level of anxiety that literally could be medicated. I just think that as a society, we are like just so anxious right now in a way that is not normal or healthy. And it like really worries me.
Forgive me, but I think that everybody is going through withdrawals from screens all the time.
Yeah,
like if you're at a workplace, even like if I'm on stage at a comedy show and I'm doing a set for 15-20 minutes, I find myself like for a second in the middle of the set being like, fuck, where's my phone?
Yes.
And that's insane.
And like you're a normal, healthy, adjusted person and like you're feeling that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes. No.
Or like kids, like small children.
That's what I'm saying is it's like we don't know the long-term effects of what it's like to look at a screen from a young age. And our society is experiencing that firsthand.
And I was on Tumblr at 11 and that was like pretty young, but I can't imagine
kids that like
kids
that grew up during their formative years during COVID looking at screens. That has to create a level of anxiety that like, I think my hot take is that a lot of the anxiety we're experiencing is not internal, it's external factors that we have created that are making us anxious.
Yeah.
And it's like, we need to solve these external factors. Yeah, it's like it's really worrying me.
What I feel scared about is basically like, I feel like we use our phones as pacifiers. Like if I'm feeling a big emotion, I know that I can numb myself by looking at TikToks, and then I scroll on TikTok for like an hour and then I consume so many highs and lows emotionally. Like I see someone's dog dying and then I see someone get married and then I see someone being bombed and I see all those things in rapid succession. My like dopamine, my emotions are fried because they're going back and forth so insanely. I cannot imagine what impact that has on a baby. And I think about kids that like the iPad kids that you see at a restaurant, like a 4 or 5 year old sitting there on an iPad because they're crying at the restaurant. Their mom gives them an iPad, so then they'll shut up. Like I cannot imagine learning in my formative years that when I have a big feeling, number one, it's too much for my parent. My parent doesn't want to deal with it. And number two, that the solution to that problem is to like flood my dopamine receptors with stimuli, like watching screens, hearing loud noises. Like that is so scary.
It's like a level of just a quick fix to disassociate and not feel your feelings.
Yeah, we're gonna have some insanely dysregulated adults.
That's
like
what I'm saying.
Really bad.
Like it worries me so much. I just am constantly looking around. Like, are we about to experience the collapse of society?
Did you guys know we have 30 minutes? It's almost over. Have you not seen that meme?
Oh no.
Okay. Well,
I was like, wait for the pod.
No. Do you know we have 30 minutes? Is like it's almost over. Like the world. Like we're done.
Yeah,
did you guys know
much.
We're cooked? Like when people talk about climate change, they're like, do you know we have 30 minutes? And it's like, yeah, it's almost over.
This is one of the most selfish things I've ever said. But sometimes I'm just like, oh, I just hope I make my dreams come true before the world ends.
But I hope I get famous first.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I resonate with that. But in like if everything is so bad, you might as well give everything to the thing that you want. Like like the last couple of years have truly helped me understand that nothing matters. Like the crazy rules about like defining success as living alone in a big city and getting a corporate job and finding a partner and getting married. Like none of that matters. Like
No,
the
it's
world is
real.
on fire. Like people are getting arrested for no reason.
Yeah. People are literally being shot down on the street for no reason.
Climate change is happening. Like
I can't even
Antarctica.
we can't even pick a struggle.
We can't even
as
pick a
society.
struggle.
There's too much going on.
I'm going to experience as much joy as humanly possible while that's happening, and while at the same time trying to like fight for people who need to be fought for. But it's just like, goddamn, I'm more encouraged than ever to sort of like recklessly pursue my dreams than I was before, if that makes sense.
No, that's a beautiful way to put it, and I agree. The older I get, the more I'm just like, every blueprint that we've like created as a society for like the right way to live is like made up, and like nothing's real, like which is like a very freeing thing.
I learned that from growing up in a high control religion and leaving. Was like I had such a rigid framework for what my life was supposed to look like be married when you're 18 and have babies by the time you're 22, and like don't speak, and like I
don't speak.
And you're showing off again, and you need to stop. I was actually kind of having a moment, and
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So I had this idea of what my life would look like, and like I saw all these girls before me, 17, 18, like get married and have babies, and I was like, this is exactly what life is gonna look like for me, and there's no getting out of it. And then once I left the church, I was like, oh, like you can do anything you want. I just learned that rules didn't matter, basically, by disobeying them, and it's fun as hell.
God, Hannah, you're so like, I don't mean this in a cringe way, but like you are so brave.
You're so brave.
But you are. Like, I don't say that because it's just like, you know, I grew up in organized religion, and I know some people that did, and it's like, but yours was so, I'm just so like in awe that you were able to like see past what was just, you know, the bubble you were in.
Thank you.
So that's just like really inspiring. I just imagine you'd probably have like a level of joy that most people don't experience because you are living a life you never imagined you would live.
Yeah, I feel sometimes I get frustrated with people that are bogged down by like societal rules or like their relationship with their parents. Like I'll have people my age that are still like living to please a parent or living to please a church or like whatever sort of institution that they align with, and it frustrates me so much because I feel like from a very young age I had to learn like that you don't have to do that, like that you, I don't know, just like that living in alignment with your joy is more important than anything, honestly. So when I see like my friends struggling with like, oh, I don't want to have this thing at my wedding because it would make my mom so mad, I'm just like, who fucking cares? Like, like you get to be alive one time, and the fact that I get to be alive in the way that I am right now is an anomaly. Like it is not expected that someone that grew up the way that I did would get to like experience this much freedom. I think like when you live so long without freedom and then you experience it, you realize how precious it is. And there's a lot of people that like don't understand how free they are to like do whatever the fuck they want. And I just think that everyone should like explore their autonomy to the fullest and like do whatever you want because you can.
Yeah. And I think that like it's hard for some people to recognize that like relationships with their family can be hurting them, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think that we have this ideology that it's like, unless your parents have been objectively abusive, you need to have some kind of a relationship with them. And like, I think I'm under the impression that like, I don't like the saying blood is thicker than water. You shouldn't be having to make sacrifices for, you know, your own autonomy and happiness just because someone is a member of your family. Like that's doesn't sit right with me.
Okay. I think that love from a parent to a child should be unconditional always. I think a parent should always unconditionally love their child. But I think that in most contexts, love and trust are things that have to be earned. And it's very possible for a parent not to earn that trust from their child. And I think that we should be okay with that. Like the line of logic that really helped me distance myself from my parents was, if I told a friend that a partner was treating me this way, would they allow me to continue this relationship? Like if a friend told me my partner said this, insert quote that my mom said, would that be okay? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so just because it's a parent doesn't mean it's different.
God, that's such a healthy way of looking at it. And I think that, and I don't want to be too psychoanalytical about other people's situations, but there are people in my life where it's like, it's exactly what you're saying, where it's like they have such unhealthy relations with their parents, but they don't realize it. and they can't like separate themselves. And I wonder, it's like, do they not have the like independence and individuality just within them to do that? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are, I don't want to say the word like enmeshed, but like a lot of people's identities are,
yeah, that's a better way of saying it,
enmeshed with their parents.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think that especially when you're an adult, like you reach a point where, and this is maybe, it shouldn't be controversial to say, but when you're an adult, it's like, okay, having a relation with my parents is now my choice. Like this is not something that I'm obligated to do. And you know, or with, you know, I've talked so much about my relationship with my mom on different podcasts that I'm like, ugh. Even though all of her friends from Pilates now follow me on Instagram, I'm like,
incredible.
It's out there. It's out there. Like my mom and I have had a very tumultuous, unhealthy relationship. And it's kind of exactly what you were saying of like, if, you know, I feel like I was in a really toxic relationship with a girlfriend in my early 20s. And I think a lot of it was because I like allowed her to treat me badly because I was used to being yelled at and screamed at for doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like,
that's how you learned what love was, is via a parent yelling at you.
And I remember like telling my parents like, yeah, this relationship's really bad, X, Y, and Z. And my mom was just like, how could you let someone treat you like that? And I wanted to just be like, oh, how could I let someone treat me like that? Like,
yeah.
Yes.
That is so hard. Oh my God. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
For getting out of that.
Yeah. But it's like, I mean, I have, despite everything, like a fine relationship with my mom now. And a lot of that is because I look at our relationship now as like, okay, this is my choice. It's not an obligation anymore. Like I'm a grown woman.
And you have the freedom to leave at any time.
I have the freedom to leave at any time. I love my mother. I think she's a good person. I think that she just didn't know how to, you know, there's a lot I could say about that. I now look at it and I have so much, it's so much easier for me to handle all of the negative feelings I have about the past by being like, anytime I go visit, if I don't feel safe or comfortable, I can just leave, you know, and it makes it so much easier to stay there then. Yeah. So I'm like very glad that I've gotten to that place with my parents, but I didn't think that I ever would, honestly. And I think that a lot of it is because I just have that level of like mental armor almost when I like go, and I'm just like, I know what to expect now.
Would you like to bring a more lighthearted vibe to the function?
Yeah, well, that got really like, holy shit.
We both dissociated and had to take a break in the middle.
Yeah, we did disassociate.
Beautiful. The last segment of the pod is called Confessional. First question is, what's something that you used to believe that you don't believe anymore?
Whoa. I think I used to believe that like people were good or bad. And the older I get, the more I just see the nuance in things. And I think that one like really important lesson I've learned is like there have been people in my life that have like done things to me that are so objectively abusive and horrible. And I've gotten to a point with myself where I can look at these people and think like, okay, they did something to me that only brought like trauma and negativity. So like my experience with them is that they are a bad person, but I know that they have brought positivity and joy to other people's lives. And I just really fight to like see the nuance of people in like every capacity.
That's so beautiful. I feel like we lose that. We were talking about social media earlier. I feel like we lose the ability to look at people in a nuanced way with social media. Like we see hot takes all the time. Like the things that get views and likes are hot takes about people and like extreme opinions, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I really think that when you call someone a monster, you like take away the ability for them to change and grow, or like for you to view them as a complex person. Like any human being labeled as a monster or evil or bad like is not helpful to them at all. Like, but viewing them as like, that's how I view my relationship with my parents. Like I don't think that my parents are monsters. I think that they're people that were really sick, like in terms of mental health, and I think that they weren't capable of being parents, but I don't think that they're evil. And just because I don't have a relationship with them doesn't mean that they're inherently bad, but it just means that like I can't be safe.
They're bad for you.
Yeah, I can't be safe around them, and that is not necessarily like meaning that I wish bad things upon them, but it's just like nothing is all black or all white. And that's hard. Like, it's hard to believe that two things can be true
It's
at once.
really hard. It's really hard. Yeah. Like
I would prefer to think they're evil. It would be a lot more fun.
It would be easier for my psyche to just be like, that's an abject abuser. That's a bad person.
It's like why breaking up with someone when it was bad is so much easier, because you're like, oh, they suck.
Yeah.
But then if you break up with someone on good terms, it like hurts more because you're like, but this was a good person.
I just like, I just really believe in nuance.
Yeah.
Okay.
When was the last time that you lied?
On the date last night. Are you kidding me? When I said I have to go.
Okay.
When I said I have to go, I have to be up so early.
I have to
Or
leave.
when I said, had a great time.
Love. Okay, this one is fun. I got it from this creator I follow on TikTok. Do you know who Eli Rollo is by chance?
No.
Really funny TikTok lady.
Okay, well, I'll check her out.
Beautiful. Her question is, what is your personal EGOT? So like, what are 4 things that you really want to achieve that are like, that would be really difficult in your lifetime, but that
that's
are
really
definitely achievable if you try really hard? So like some people's are like running a marathon, writing a book. Mine, I'll do mine.
Yeah. Tell me yours.
Okay. I want to have a stand-up special on like a network, like a big stand-up special. I want to win an award for writing something like TV or a movie. So like genuinely probably Emmy would be one of them.
Hell yeah.
I would like to have a novel, like a book, a memoir come out, but in like a fun influencer way. I want to have a book that I wrote come out, and then it's just like, oh, she's a New York Times bestselling author, but like the book doesn't have to be that good. Like I just want to have it come out.
That's a really specific thing.
And then I want to write a really good book about my life that's very high quality and everyone loves. And then I want to win another cake decorating competition.
Those are really fucking good ones.
I haven't won one since I was in high school, and I want to prove that I can do it again as an adult.
I forgot that you decorated cakes, and in hindsight, I'm not taking you to the Cheesecake Factory. You're going to be disappointed.
What do you mean? I don't like bake good cakes. I just decorate them beautifully.
I know, but you're going to be like, oh my God, these cakes aren't even decorated.
Sometimes I dream of working in like a Walmart bakery and just like making cakes all day, like with all of their big tools. I think it would be really fun.
Okay, I have an idea for your social media.
Okay.
You decorating a cake while telling stand-up jokes.
I thought about that. I like have literally one of those reels drafted in my phone right now.
Yeah.
But it is like, if that becomes a series, then I have to bake and decorate a cake like every day.
Yeah. I mean, what if you just like film a bunch with like one cake? Yeah. You could just film a bunch like one day and then put them out like
huge
over a month.
Okay, if you see that happening on my Instagram. Yeah.
This is interesting because I live by being a short-term goal person, like constantly. That's like how I live my life. But I actually am going to take your first one. I want to have a stand-up special on a streaming service or like a legitimate network. I would like to make enough money from doing stand-up that I am able to take care of a dog.
Huge.
That would be really...
We'll level up from hamster to dog.
To dog. That would be amazing. This is a personal life thing, not a real life thing. I would like to fall in love.
Yay! That's a little gay.
Yeah. I would like to fall in love. I've only ever been in love the one time, and she sucks. But I would like...
And she does.
I would like to be in love. I would like to act in a feature film, whether that be a small part or a big part. I just miss acting, and I want to do something like that. And I want to live in New York City.
I want to live in New York City too. Do you want to be my roommate in New York City?
Together.
Do you want to? We bunk beds.
Yes.
In the studio, we bring people back, and then we have to have like a code for. Hey, I'm using the bunks right now, so if you could stay out, that would be great.
Hey, can you go to the Cheesecake Factory? I need the apartment for an hour.
The Cheesecake Factory in Times Square.
I'm actually so serious. I think we're on similar paths, that we could move to New York together like in a year and a half or 2 years.
Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna like
so
post
serious.
this clip when we do it, and it's gonna be like we planned it.
Can I do my questions now?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I have questions.
Did you come with questions?
I came with questions prepared. Okay. If stand-up doesn't work out, what are you gonna do?
Can you imagine? If stand-up doesn't work out, I want to get my PhD in neuroscience, because that was my plan when I was a kid, and then I dropped out of grad school, and I would love to go back.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. And I think I'm well positioned to write a really interesting thesis, because my goal was to write something about social media and brains. Basically, I want there to be more research so that the federal bodies in charge of regulating social media can have stricter laws around it, and I want to write research that like informs the way that social media is allowed to exist around children, because it's like very predatory.
I totally agree. Yeah.
So that's the goal, honestly.
Okay, I have 2 more questions.
Okay.
What's your favorite thing about yourself physically?
That's a crazy question.
No, it's a confident question.
It makes me nervous. Okay, my favorite thing about myself physically, I don't know. Is it okay if I just start crying? Is that sort of like a good way to handle this?
What's your favorite thing about yourself internally?
I think I've always been really curious.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I think that's like how I've achieved most of the things I've had, including like leaving the religion I grew up in, and then also like starting stand-up, is just, I think I've allowed myself to be like, what if this positive outcome could happen? And I think a lot of people don't have that, and I'm really proud of myself for being curious.
That's really beautiful.
Thanks. How about you?
Whether this is good or bad, I think I am like independent to a fault, and like I just like really I'm never gonna like lose focus from like what I want to do.
I think a lot of times the best thing about a person is also the worst thing about them.
Yes.
Like I feel like usually they line up, so I resonate with this. Beautiful. Okay, well, we have to end on a happy note. So do you have anything coming up that you're excited about?
Yeah, I have 2 things. Like, I mean, a bunch of shows. I'm doing a JFL audition in March. I'm headlining in Chicago, so I'm doing an hour at Red Room on March 20th.
Awesome.
And I'm excited for that. Yeah, it'll just be fun to like get to do an hour and have like all my friends come and like see new material. So
I'm so excited.
So yeah, what about you?
Huge. I have a monthly show in Chicago, and it's just a femme show, and it's just a bunch of girlies in a bar telling jokes, and I'm really excited for that coming up.
That's amazing. Yeah. Pinky swear.
Pinky swear.
Go see it.
Where can people find you?
I'm Lil Shrimp Snack on everything. TikTok, Reddit, Instagram, Lil Shrimp Snack.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming to my couch.
Thank you for having me on your couch.
Dissociating with me.
Yeah, we really like went through the whole spectrum of human emotions.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.